අද නොවැම්බර් 21 2025. එතකොට මේක අද මේ නාමල් රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයාට විශේෂ දවසක්. හරිද? දැන් මම පැහැදිලිවම එකක් කියනවා. ඔය අපේ රටේ තිබ්බනේ යමයාගේ රජය, යමපල්ලන්ගේ රජය. යමපල්ලන්ගේ රජයේ හිටපු කවුරුත් ආර්ථික විද්‍යාව දන්නේ නැහැ. දන්නේ නැහැ කියන්නේ මේ මිනිස්සු දන්නේ නියෝ ලිබරල් ඉකොනොමික්ස්. හරිද? හර්ෂ ඩිසිල්ලා මහත්තයාම ආර්ථික විද්‍යාව දන්නේ නැහැ. ඔය කොච්චර කිව්වත් දන්නේ නැහැ. PhD එකක් කරලා ඇති PhD එක දන්නේ නැහැ කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ දන්නේ නියෝ ලිබරල් ඉකොනොමික්ස්. නියෝ ලිබරල් ඉකොනොමික්ස් වල පදමක් නැහැ ඒක බොරුවක් තියෙනවා. නමුත් හර්ෂ ඩිසිල්ලා ආචාර්ය හර්ෂ ඩිසිල්ලා මහත්තයා දන්නවා කවුද මේ අපේ රටේ කවුද බදු ගෙවන්නේ නැත්තේ අරම මේ ඔක්කොම දන්නවා. එතුමා ආර්ථික විද්‍යාව මම කියන්නේ ඒ 2015 19 හිටපු රජේ කිසිම කෙනෙක් ආර්ථික විද්‍යාව දන්නේ නැහැ. ඇමරිකාවෙන් මොනවද මේ සම්මාන අරමේ ඒ මට වැඩක් නැහැ. මම ඇමරිකාවේ කඩේන කාලා කන්නේ නෙමෙයි. හරි? නමුත් එතුමා දන්නවා කවුද බදු ගෙවන්නේ නැත්තේ අරමේ. මොකද එතුමා රජේ වැඩ කරලා තියෙන නිසා ඔය ෆිනෑන්ස් කමිටු වල ඉන්න නිසා එතුමා දන්නවා කොහෙද තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා නාමල් රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයාට කියන්නේ ඔය සාජිත් ප්‍රේමදාසලා දන්න ආර්ථික විද්‍යාවක් නැහැ. මේ රට විනාශ කරේ ජයජයවර්ධන. ජයජයවර්ධන මේ රටේ සංස්කෘතිය විනාශ කරලා. එතනින් තමයි ඔක පටන් ගන්න. එතකොට මේ කවුරු හරි මේ සවරින් බොන්ඩේජ් අරන් ඒකෙන් වාහන ගන්නවා නම් මේ මිනිස්සු දන්න ආර්ථික විද්‍යාවක් නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ අර IMF එකට ජරා මුලා අරුවයකට එහෙම නැත්නම් IMF එකට කඩ යනවා. ඉතින් මම කියනවා මගේ තියෙනවා වීඩියෝස් 42ක් විතර නාමල් රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයාට කියන්නේ ලංකාවේ ආර්ථිකයේ තියෙන මොනවද ප්‍රශ්න කියලා මම සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම කියලා දෙලා තියෙනවා. Now I am going to talk of Epstein files. Epstein files is not something about this exploitation of young underage girls. Okay, it's much more than that. It's a part of it. So this is, if you take this, make America great again, there was never made America great again. Even Steve Bannon, who was a part of Donald Trump, right, who was a part of the Donald Trump government, he advised how Epstein how to when this underage girl thing came about. So there are about 4 levels in this Epstein files. So underage girls thing is a very important thing. I am not discounting that, but it is what you have here is make Israel great again, right? So if you take Donald Trump, he is a person who has declared bankruptcy many times, and he has used that to come up again. He is not I don't think he is one of those typical American. He knows how to use bankruptcy clause to the maximum. So that means he can't be a genuine American. He come from this new economic order. If you take Marguerite Green Taylor, her father was from Michigan, and they are typical Americans. So possibly that she might not understand certain things, but I think this make America great again will break away from make Israel great again. So my gut feeling is that make America great again will emerge from this. So now if you take Tucker Carlson, his father was a diplomat, so he is at a different level. So he probably they are kind of Christian fundamentalists, right? Even Green Taylor, she is also a kind of Christian fundamentalist, certain extent. So I can live with that. I mean, even Tucker is a Christian fundamentalist, but he says you can't kill people, you can't have collective punishments and things. So they have. I can live with these Christian fundamentalists. I mean, as long as they know the limits. So there is a possibility that if you make America great again, it will emerge from this make Israel great again. So this Steve Bannon, he was advising Epstein how to reduce the damage by this underage girl episode. But there are other levels in this. And then if you take what's his name? Epstein, he was trying to secure money for certain IT tools to suppress and certain banks. He was trying to, and he was one of the top so-called diplomats of the Make Israel Great Again. So I think there is a huge damage to the Make America Great Again organization, but I think it will image from Make Israel Great Again. So the Make America Great Again will, after some slippage, there will be some negative fallout, but the new leadership will emerge from there. So even if you take what's his name? I forget, being old. A person who contributed a lot to languages. Now he was working with, right? So you don't trust many. My advice to Mr. Namal Rajapaksa, don't trust most of the academics, because they hide something. They don't tell you the exact thing what they are working for, right? They know how to have something, and they have different agenda, right? So you had this Norman Chomsky. He worked for, I think he worked for Make Israel Great Again. Although he used to criticize the Israel government, he worked with Epstein. So Epstein is the linchpin. He is the main man in this Make Israel Great Again. So I am telling to Namal Rajapaksa, Mr. Namal Rajapaksa, don't trust most of these academics, because when they are showing in the front, in face, they show you something else, but deep down they are working for them. Because even this his name, I just mentioned his name, person who did a lot for languages, I think he was working for the Israel government. Okay. Now, if you take, there is a social media outlet, Do. Okay, he has mentioned about this vaccines. He has mentioned about this academic, one of the top academics. He is actually accepted as one of the top academics in the world, especially when it comes to languages and things like that, so-called scientific structure of languages. Right. Doe has exposed about the vaccines and things like that, right? So he is also a kind of Christian fundamentalist to a certain extent, but they have their limits. So I think we will have to work with the Christian fundamentalists. I don't see anything wrong with it. Okay, not the fake ones. Okay, so there are a lot of things to learn, and we have to learn a lot of things from this Sudan. What is America and some of these leaders of Arab states are doing, right? They are working for Israel. I think they can't come out of that Israel lobby. Okay. Now, if you take this, there was a spat between American president and the internet guru. One of the internet people is what's his name? I forget his name also. And he is a person who used this Nazi-like salute, and he came from South Africa. So there was a spat. But when he comes to Saudi Arabia, there was a dinner, and then he came for the dinner. So, but what is happening in American political scene is a fraud. They just fight to show, but deep down they're working. Why? Why is it IT people want to get the Saudi money? Because IT is a bubble. In America, IT is a bubble, and the only thing they can do is they can get money from the Saudi Arabia and all these countries, and you keep the bubble alive. So actually, it is the British who are behind all this. It is the British who created these artificial countries and all that, and they are still working for the American hegemony. So they show certain things, but if you take Saudi now, Donald Trump, he was defending the Saudi prince. According to that, they killed some journalist was killed inside the Saudi embassy, and he was defending that. So they are all working together. Okay, the Saudis and the Emirates, Americans, and Norman Chomsky, Epstein, they are working together. So my feeling is that the Make America Great Again will emerge from this they will break away from this Make Israel Great Again, and Donald Trump is very fearful of Green Taylor, not necessarily Tucker Carlson. Okay, so I think then නාමල් රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයාට කියන්න තියෙන්නේ මේ රටේ ගොඩක් දේශපාලඥයෝ ඇමරිකාවට කඩ යන්නේ. ඇමරිකාව කියන්නේ ලෝකේ සංස්කෘතිය සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම විනාශ කරගෙන යන එක. දැන් අපේ රටේ සංස්කෘතිය විනාශ කරේ ජයජයවර්ධන. එතුමා තමයි මේකේ සංස්කෘතිය විනාශ කරලා මෙතෙන්ට ගෙනයි. ඒතකොට ඇමරිකාව බලන්නේ මේ දැන් America is trying to have a agreement with Russia, and they have some 29-point plan on Ukraine. So I think America is trying to destroy the Russian culture. I think that is what the Americans are trying to do, right? So if you take Putin, he was, sometimes he wanted to have good relation with Europe, especially he wanted to destroy some of his culture by trying to join the Americans, but I think he's trying to go back there. So if you destroy the Russian culture, there will be no Russia. So we'll see what this 29-point plan of the, I think the Ukraine war is over, and there are a lot of these people in the Ukraine government, they are thieves. They have taken a lot of money. Now the Americans are talking about this. If you take George Galloway, he was always saying that Ukraine is one of the most corrupt countries in Europe, and George Galloway was labeled as a Putin puppet. But now if you take the American main media, because they want to get rid of Zelensky. Okay, so if you look at most of the politicians, they work for Israel. So this is, I am trying to tell something for Sri Lankan government. You can't make India great again and make Sri Lanka great. If you work for India, then you are going to destroy this country. Okay, this is what you learn, because Indians have different they have different agenda, we are different. You can't make India great and then you can't say make Sri Lanka. You can't go for that. So there will be severe changes in the American political thing. Now, if you take this Epstein thing, Donald Trump tried to hide it, but that some of the emails came out. 16,000 emails on this. There are a lot more emails. What they do is they redact it. That means they remove names. So you won't find the names. So I will not comment much on it, because they'll start censoring a lot more stuff. So you can study these things. Even if the names are not there, you can study it, right? So it is American AI industry or IT industry, they are depending on Middle Eastern money, dollars, because there is a bubble there. Okay, so we talked a little bit on Yamapallange Raje, Lanka Yamapallange Raje. But if you take the sovereign bonds, Rajapaksa, Mahinda Rajapaksa took them. So because Mahinda Rajapaksa also has this neoliberal economics, they were advising on that. So if you take if you take if you take Jaya Jayawardena, you can't go down that part. You can't destroy culture and get so-called economics done. Okay. So we talked about why neoliberal economics does not work. We talked why we don't have economists in our country. But some of these people, you can still get their work done because they know in Sri Lanka that they know who have not paid the taxes, the companies and taxes. So I don't think that if you take Disilla, what's his Disilla? Harsha Disilla. He in some place he says America is a good country. So he doesn't know that America's economy is mostly genocide, economics based on genocide. I mean, if you take Francisca Albanese, she talks about 63 countries involved in the genocide in Palestine. Some countries at low level and some countries low. So I think these economists, අපේ මිනිස්සු ගිහිල්ලා අර ජූලියා චන්ට උදේ අවුද මල් තියලා වදිනවා. ජූලියා චන් කියන්නේත් ඔය economics of genocide එකේ එක්කෙනෙක් තමයි. හරි ඒගොල්ලෝ officially they represent this. ඉතින් මම කියන්නේ නාමල් රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයාට මේ රටේ ඇකඩමික්ස් කියනවා එච්චර විශ්වාස කරන්න එපා. මේ මිනිස්සු කියන්නේ මේ මිනිස්සු ඇතුලේ එකක් කිව්වට ඇතුලේ තියෙන වෙන එකක්. they are working for the different agenda. ඒකට හේතුවක් තියෙනවා. අපේ රටේ විශ්වවිද්‍යාල නැහැ. හරි. ඉතින් මම හිතන්නේ ඔය කවුද අපේ හර්ෂ දිවිල්ලා මහත්තයා නරක පුද්ගලයා. එතුමාට තේරෙන්නේ ඇමරිකාවේ ආර්ථිකයේ තියෙන ඉකොනොමික්ස් ඔෆ් ජෙනොසයිඩ් කියලා. හැබැයි එතුමාට USA සැදිච්ච පුද්ගලෙක්. කොහොමද? මම දන්නේ නැහැ USA සැදින කිසිම කෙනෙක් විශ්වාස කරන්න එපා. හරි. ලංකාවේ ආර්ථික අරමුදයක් නැහැ. මගේ තියෙනවා මේ පොලිටිකල් ඉකොනොමි ඔක්කොම තියෙනවා වීඩියෝස් 42ක් දුවේ තියෙන ඕකේ තියෙන ඔක්කොම මොකක්ද තියෙන්නේ කියලා. ඒක ඇමරිකාවේ දැන් තියෙන්නේ දරුණුම තත්ත්වය. ඇමරිකාවේ AI එකෙන් තමයි දුවන්න හදන්නේ. America has lost something like 1 million jobs. They don't give the if you take the job report, they don't give it. They hide certain things. And now Donald Trump is trying to bribe people by trying to give $2,000 from this so-called tariff thing. And tariff thing, if you have a proper Supreme Court, they say this tariff thing doesn't belong. Here he is using some emergency act because some of the Congress thing have been given over to the President of America, right? They had neglected their duty. So you pass some emergency law and say that. So you can't have economic policy on emergency measures. So I think this tariff thing, if you have a Supreme Court in America, they will override Donald Trump's thing. So Donald Trump is very unpopular. If you look at the recent elections, Democratic Party did well, not because they are popular, but because of this Epstein files and also tariff thing. And I think you have to watch this thing, Epstein file, because there are about 4 levels inside that how the Israelis manipulated the entire political system in America. Okay, so this abusing of underage girls is an important matter, but that's not the main thing. So I think even in our country we can analyze that data, but some of the data will be put out, but they will black out certain names, redacted. Okay, so Donald Trump will stop it, and he's Speaker of the House also. So these people will be thrown out. So you will have new leadership in America. That's what I think the political leadership is doing. And there's possibility that even this MGT Taylor, she might be the next president. There's a possibility that if this make America great again becomes very important, she might be the next president. And I think Tucker Carlson will provide a major role in the next election. And if you take Charlie Kirk's murder, now they are questioning the official version. Okay? And there's a possibility that foreign government was involved in that murder and they are trying to hide these things. So I think there will be a lot of cleanup in the American politics. So I don't think Make America Great is defeated. I think they'll come back much stronger, and some of these older politicians will be thrown out. They will have to retire now. Better not contest the elections in America and better not lose. So better. I forget the name of this. Becoming very old. Who is the person who came from South America and tried to make America great? Then, when there was this dinner for this Saudi Arabia, he came for the dinner. So Donald Trump, they said they were trying to show that they have fought up, but actually, why? Because they want to get money for the American AI industry. American AI industry is considered to be a bubble. Okay? So they are trying to get this now. Who created this? All these countries in the Middle East is the British. British are responsible for a lot of this suffering in the world. Most of the British people will burn in hell. It's not the Americans who are responsible. It is the British people.